Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is staying safe and sound in this pandemic, and I hope that everyone is ready to learn something new today. But first, if you like what you see, give me a big thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Hit that bell notification so you know my videos come out, generally between 3 and 4. Remember, this is a family-friendly channel. And please subscribe to my channel. Do me a favor and do yourself a favor. I will be picking a random subscriber who comments and giving them $20 when I reach 200 subscribers. So I'm still at 170, so let's see if we can get this done by the end of the summer when I go back to school. And speaking of school, as I promised, I'm doing a little lesson about education today. I'm going to call this Teachers Thursday, and every Thursday I will be doing a lesson regarding school. So let's get into it. New York City schools reopening for fall. Here's what we know so far. Okay. That's just the title. Let me okay. So this was from Staten Island. You should be able to see it. It's big enough. Okay. The 2021 school year is nearly over. Well, it is over for now. And many families and school staff are starting to wonder what's the next academic year will look like as New York City plans for all students to return to school in person in the fall amid the coronavirus or COVID-19. So the plan is to open up the schools as usual. However, those plans could change with the new Delta variant. So I don't know. This was done in May, so to gain feedback and answer questions that families may have, School Chancellor Maisha was holding, she had a virtual meet and greet. So that doesn't matter. So she was joined by the City Department of Education to listen to what's going on. Okay, so here's what to expect so far. How will all students return to school full-time in the fall safely? Porter said that the DOE, Department of Education, is working really hard to ensure that all students can go back to school in person in the fall. In fact, before I came to Staten Island, virtually, I was on a conference call with the doctors, our city doctors, to ask all of these questions, Porter said. And so what we will lean into is the health and safety of all our students first. I hope you know we are looking for some guidance from the CDC shortly, and we'll be coming back soon with some clear information. Again, this is, that was taken right before the end of the summer. So it may have been updated a little bit. Porter said she's a mother and a parent of a 10th grader who asks her every night if students will go back in person for 2021-2022 school year. So she knows it's important. So they're talking about school in general, not just, doesn't matter what school it is. I'm excited about the potential of getting in person because nothing replaces what happens between our amazing teachers and students in classrooms. So more to come soon, but just know we are leaning into health and safety recommendations first. Okay. Let's keep it going. What health and safety measures will be in place? So this is what you need to know. The school chancellor said that the city will continue its regular coronavirus testing schedule in schools. Currently, the city conducts randomized weekly COVID testing of 20% of the school population, which includes both students and staff. Okay. We're still working out the details of what that looks like in the fall when we have more students back, she said. Mask wearing will also continue to be mandated according to Porter, which is a good thing. You know, even with this new Delta variant, they're going back to wearing masks. But she stated that what she shared during Monday's information is based on where we are currently at in the pandemic. Right now, based on where we were with the pandemic, we will continue mask wearing, Porter told the Staten Island community. It's going to be the same thing this September, I'm pretty sure. We will continue some level of social distancing, which will continue. We will continue testing, which will continue, and we will continue, most importantly, to encourage everyone to get vaccinated who is eligible to be vaccinated. So anyone 12 and over can get vaccinated. Okay, So will schools require students to have to be vaccinated? So this is the important thing. Some colleges across the country, including some in New York State, like State University of New York City, New York, and City University, New York colleges, mandated vaccinations are part of the plan for the fall semester. So I know that where I work in LISMA, they told me that, if you're coming back, you need to be vaccinated. I said yes. So parents asked the city will require vaccination for students and staff in the public school. Porter said there is not a requirement currently, but the DOE is highly encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. So I just heard that they're going to be in New York City recently. They're going to be, if you don't get vaccinated, if you work for the city, you'll have to be taking like a test, COVID test every week or something like that. Right now, we know we can get 12 and up vaccinated. We want to get our city, our state, our country back to our normal. So we need everyone to get vaccinated, because the vaccination is not about us as individuals, but it's about what we want to have our city become. So I always say, if you want to get vaccinated, don't do it for yourself, do it for others. You're actually protecting others so that you can't share it with them. The safest way to get everyone back to school is to get as many of us vaccinated as possible. Will schools keep small classes? With investments coming into schools thanks to state and federal funds, Porter said the DOE will look at ways to reduce class sizes. So speaking of federal funds, my school, LISMA, is receiving a grant from Nassau County for ESL classes in the fall. My school is LISMA. I will put the link to that school in the description. Okay, and it's free for Nassau County residents only currently. Okay, you do have to pay for books and maybe like a registration fee, but the tuition is free. But you need to take advantage of this now because it's going to be in the fall. Now, whether they're going to be open in person or virtual, I don't know. Okay. They're still waiting for their visa granting status, which they're waiting for. So once they get that, they can have visa students coming there. Currently, everything is slow, like snail mail. It's so slow that a snail can beat it. I definitely agree that was one of the benefits of the pandemic, was the reduction of class size. But it was a forced, unnatural reduction, she said. I think below what anyone wanted, and so we're looking forward to our schools leveraging the resources to not only look at ways to reduce class sizes, but also look at ways to bring in additional enrichment activities into our schools. So I believe my class size in the fall probably going to be about 10 students. It might be a little more, but it's not going to be like we used to have like 30 or 40 students. It's not going to be anywhere near there. Okay. When will protocols like cohorts be terminated? The chancellor said the city is working towards bringing students back to a normal school routine, but that she can't say definitely yes. At this time, it's not going to be definite. Yes, I believe that they're going to have in-person learning, but there's still going to be the wearing of masks and social distancing, and they're still going to be urging people, especially teachers. You're the ones that are in charge of the students. You really should get vaccinated. As a teacher, I can agree. It would make the students feel more comfortable knowing that you're vaccinated, because some of the students can't get vaccinated. Okay. What I will say is that what we're working toward, Porter explained, I think what we all want to prioritize is the health and safety of our students and our families. And before we commit to breaking up cohorts and breaking up pods, we have to make sure that it's safe. So get vaccinated. I agree with her. Will there be an option to be a remote learner? Porter told Staten Island families that there are still conversations about what September will look like, but that the city is leaning towards having all students return in person. I think the majority of the learning is going to be in person. However, who knows what's going to happen in another month. However, the chancellor said the city will work with medical experts regarding the decision on remote learning and who would be eligible. So there may be some remote learning depending on who it is. I have to say there were definitely some students who had strong experience in remote option, she said. But we also know that, I have to say there are definitely some students who had strong experience in remote option, she said. But we also know that nothing replaces the interaction between a student and a teacher in the classroom. I agree. So we are leaning toward being in person. But again, like I said earlier, we're going to work with a medical expert to decide if we need to have a remote option and who we would need that remote option for. So I think, people in the health risk situations, or probably some parents may opt out of in-person learning. So I think they're going to have an option for that. Like our school is going to have an option for that. I don't know if they're going to do both at the same time. I couldn't tell you. What about preparing school buildings like ventilation inspections? Kevin Moran, Chief Operating Officer for School Operations, told families during the information session that the DOE began a multi-layer approach when looking at well-ventilated classrooms for the start of the current school year. We took a real multi-layered approach to how we fix these things and how we supplemented them. So every classroom has an air purifier. They're doing that in my school as well. Every classroom has operable windows, said Moran, which we have. If it doesn't have our windows, we bring in outside air, fresh air. And if it had to be recirculated during the colder months or the warmer months, we use MERV filters as recommended. I don't know what they're going to have there. Custodians also walk weekly and work with principals in each building to make sure the structure is functioning as designed. And if there's a concern, we will handle it, and we will get to the building and visit and make the necessary repairs, Moran said. Okay. This year, the DOE is going one step further, he added, by bringing a second round of air purifiers into the mix to make sure there are multiple units in each classroom. The city will also put MERV 13 air filters on air conditioning units and window units for use during the summer. So, will there be medical accommodations in 2021? For the 2021 school year, the DOE allowed for medical accommodations and let teachers and other school staff work remotely. Paul explained that these accommodations were given at the height of the pandemic to support the health and safety needs of staff members. So basically, yes, we are going back to school, no question about it. We will be definitely going back to school in the fall. However, whether we're going to have full in-person learning or like a hybrid or something like that, or both, I don't know. Even for my school, I don't know yet. I've spoken with my boss, the principal, and she doesn't know yet because it's still a month away. But definitely there will be class. Whether it's a combination of both or one or the other, we don't know. Again, if you like what you see, give me a big thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Hit that bell notification so you know my videos come out. And do me a favor and do yourself a favor and subscribe to my channel. And one random subscriber is going to receive $20 when I reach 200 subscribers. So let's see if we can get that done before I go back to school. I thank you. Go out and get yourself vaccinated, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Free Friday, so I have no idea what I'm doing tomorrow.